important that we begin to change the mindset of young people to know that your vote counts.
They don't understand that the legislative arm of government is actually a co-equal arm of government.
We have an incredible amount of potential.
Whatever it is I was doing, because of my personal DNA, it had to be of an international standard, which is what, seriously speaking, is all about.
Welcome to Seriously Speaking. Today we're talking still about food, because you will notice somehow in the past couple of weeks, there's some food element in what I've been doing. But if you've missed those ones, this is one you shouldn't miss, because it's about how you are what you eat. Now, I'm telling this story through the eyes and the voices of two specialists in the medical field, but they happen to be married. One of them is a medical doctor, the other one is a lettered doctor. And today on the show, you're going to find out why what you put in your stomach is as important as anything else that you do, even more important than anything else you do. But I'm doing this because in recent times, there have been all kinds of, do I want to call them fad diets? People are getting more aware about healthy living, but there are a lot of diets. Are you taking the right diet? Are you doing the right thing? Stay tuned, and I'll be back in a short while with my guest on Seriously Speaking today. Yes, welcome back. I did say one of my guests is a doctor, a medical doctor, and the other one, I call her a lettered doctor because she has a PhD in nutrition. Now, they're Dr. and Dr. Mrs. Ijewere. It's nice to have both of you on set.
Thank you.
Now, Sherese is, of course, the female. She's been on this show before. We had something to do with natural hair.
Yes.
And also twice. We've done something also on eating right.
Yes.
So welcome to Seriously Speaking again.
Thank you.
But it's Patrick I'm getting here for the first time. Now, I'm happy I have you here because it's not like I've always been aware of health, wellness, but meeting you, do I remember now, 5 or 6 years ago, brought the whole essence of wellness more into my consciousness, but about what we eat. And I'll share with you what Patrick shared with me at that time. My sister had just been diagnosed with some breast cancer, and he was trying to educate me on what breast cancer is really all about. And I want you to take that all over again. Something about the flour, even if the flour is the root that's more important. Tell me about it again, Patrick.
We create the picture of cancer like a beautiful flower that's potted or in the ground. When you approach cancer from the surgical perspective and you take off the flower, all you've done is remove that lesion, that visible lesion. But the stem, the branches, and importantly, the root system are still there. And so until you address the totality of that system, you are yet to actually treat cancer.
And that totality really is about what you eat, isn't it?
Yes.
You know, Sherese?
Yes.
Now, did you end up doing nutrition by accident, or it was something that, you know, was it a lifestyle you had before?
Well, I would say, let me say by accident, because I'm a nurse. And after nursing, I worked with my husband in the clinic. And then we realized we had many patients whose diseases were linked to really the foods they ate. And so my husband said, you know what, you need to go back to school, get your degree in nutrition, and then let us work on it with the patients in the clinic.
Oh, so it was a deliberate effort.
Yes.
Before I go to that, though, I was talking about, it's really about the food that you eat. Cancer is linked to food as well.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So now, I wondered, you're Nigerian, you are American.
From Jamaica.
Yeah, well, originally from Jamaica, but you're American.
But no. I grew up in Jamaica, so most of my years, high school, primary school, Jamaica, so I claim it as my country.
And not America that gave you a citizenship.
Right.
Now, you're Nigerian, so you do all the things that we Nigerians do, eat suya, eat bubwe, you know, everything. And something happened and your life changed. What was that?
Well, I had a health condition diagnosed at age 11 while I was here in secondary school.
Really?
That continued right through university
Can you share
days.
what it was?
I won't, because folk may easily misconstrue and begin to be their own doctor. And I was fortunate to encounter a few individuals who were beyond just the conventional thinking. One was an American Egyptian doctor who asked me to look at some of the things I was drinking. And the other was a lady who was just into health.
How did you find them?
Interesting. The Egyptian American doctor was working for the school where I attended undergraduate in the US. And I was having a lot of bowel problems. Went to see the regular doctor, gave me some meds, didn't help. Went back, he wasn't there, she was there. And she just laughed and looked at me and said, you all from Sub-Saharan Africa, you have this condition, stop doing this. I listened, and there was some impact.
What did you stop doing? You stopped eating meat?
Dairy.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And dairy would be milk, yogurts, and things like that?
Yes. Yeah.
And everything changed?
Things improved significantly.
Things improved.
Then many years later, still in the US, I encounter a patient comes to see me who has prostate cancer, biopsy-proven prostate cancer. And he had been to a center where nutrition was used, and he told me he didn't want chemo, did not want surgery, did not want radiation. By law in the US, these are the options we're open to. So he had to sign a waiver. And he said, listen, doctor, I'm coming to you because I heard about you at a restaurant where people avoid meat, because I don't eat meat at that time.
But you used to eat meat now?
Plenty before, plenty. So he told me about this particular lady. Then when I met with her, and she inspired me and gave me a challenge. So I took up the challenge, and it involved giving up certain other foods again. And since then, that health condition has not bothered me. Really? So nutrition plays a major role in our health and wellness.
Okay, but even as you say that, though, I mean, I started off by talking about the diet, and I'll mention just a couple of them that are quite popular now. There's one that's a keto diet, and there's one that's a Cambridge diet, Cambridge weight plan. These are things people who want to lose weight, right? What do you think about people making decisions on what kind of diet that they should do that is, well, it's not designed by them?
Right. I think it's important that they meet with the consulting team for that diet, that they don't just pick it up and do it on their own, because it's important that that consulting team will do a list of investigations, check out their lifestyle, do they have any underlying conditions, and then they can guide them on the diet. And when it comes to diet, you can only do it short term. It's not a lifestyle.
So people are a bit more aware about staying healthy. And so they're trying to eat organic foods. But recently you brought my attention to the fact that what we call genetically modified foods might be out there also killing us, and we think they're organic foods. Patrick.
This is a vast topic. Unfortunately, certain elements of the government have found created agencies to more or less bring these items to our attention. Yes, they say they're doing confined field trials of these genetically modified items, but we know there's nothing that you can confine when it's in the open air. There's concerns in the environment, environmental damage, loss of diversity. There's concern about the medical impact of these products. My colleagues in the US are speaking daily on this issue. Everything from allergies, asthma, and how it links to a range of medical problems, including...
Maybe we should start by saying, what are genetically modified foods? I mean, I have a bowl of fruits here, for example, rather than flowers today, and we would buy them in the store anyway or in the market. So could any of them be genetically modified?
Any could be. Any could be. What we know in Nigeria that has been modified, well, globally, there are a few items that are modified globally, such as soybean, such as canola, and
tomatoes,
corn. And wheat. Wheat, tomatoes have been modified. Now, some of these things may be grown without permission in certain countries. In the US, there are regulations. And so certain things are approved in the marketplace. The three I just mentioned, for instance, alfalfa is also one of them. Here in Nigeria, nothing has been officially approved for commercial availability, but we know Nigerians go and buy seeds abroad and bring them in and plant them here.
Now, if we're talking about genetically modified foods, do you find that a concern also in practicing, because you're a nutrition consultant?
Yes, absolutely, yes. So when we teach our patients, we direct them to people who sell organic products. And so these organic foods, organic products are certified in Nigeria by a company called NOAN.
When you say organic products, what do you mean? I think I'll take a break at this point.
Okay.
So when I come back, I'll explain. I think we're speaking over people's heads already. So I'll be back with my celebrity guests, celebrity nutrition guests, if you don't go away. Well, like I always say, I'm not saying don't eat meat, don't eat that. It's better for you not to eat meat, not to eat flour, not to eat milk, not to drink cola. But if you can't, right, go organic. Organic is great. I wanted you to define, as we come back, let's define what we mean by organic foods.
Okay, so organic foods are foods grown without pesticide, without fertilizer, just in its natural soil.
Really?
Yes.
So literally everything has, you know, are you saying people shouldn't farm again?
The way nature created it, with some scientific adjustments. I mean, she talked about the soil. Rather than put 3 chemicals, NPK, which is the typical fertilizer, into the soil, which can actually cause damage to the soil over time. There are natural fertilizers. There's natural composting. There's natural manure.
Which is what our parents did, actually.
Exactly.
Traditionally, that's what farmers did in the past. But you see, it's about increased yields. Population's rising, people have to feed, and so things like additions are done. Is that not how genetically modified foods came about? That's a justification for it.
That is a justification, but it's a misleading justification. And let me give a very grounded example. You're building a house. You buy cement. Your well-respected, long-term bricklayer says, "Madam, from this bag of cement, I can make 20 blocks." Bam. Ijewere across the road comes and says, "Madam, this bag of cement, I can make you 40, 45 blocks safe." Who gives you an increased yield?
Long term.
Increased yield of number of blocks.
Ijewere.
Exactly. Which one will you buy for your house?
Where people compromise, that's why buildings are crashing. That's why buildings are crashing. So, okay, how do these things work? Because I hear that modification of food is just about putting chemicals in the food or making it, you know, it tastes better sometimes, I hear.
There are several levels of modification.
Yes.
The one that we are concerned about here, the genetic modification. They actually modify the seeds at the genetic level, which you can call the smallest form of that, the template where life comes.
Give me an example. So you turn beans into...
You can take beans and take a gene from a lizard and put it inside the bean.
Why?
It will give that bean extra shelf life. It will last for 10 years.
Wow.
A popular one is corn. They take gene from a bacteria and put it into corn. It causes the corn to now produce a particular chemical that is a pesticide. And so pests come to the corn and they'll die when they eat it. So pests develop an aversion for that corn. So the corn, guess what? You have a higher harvest because pests don't bother that corn.
So what are the implications of eating foods like that?
Well, there's bacteria in our systems, in our gut.
Supposedly. There should be.
There is trillions of bacteria. They're what give us our health and our immune system. The bacteria, natural bacteria in our gut. When we consume that same corn, that gene is there. The way it affects the insect. Studies have shown that in the gut, that same gene can be intercalated into the genes of our microbacteria.
Kill all our bacteria.
Well, it will kill some, but some will actually intercalate that gene. And as a result, we now start to produce also that chemical in the body. Studies have been done, including in Canada, where pregnant women and their fetus are shown to have the toxin from BT corn. So it's not just the environment. We must begin to understand this concept of wellness. It's a totality. We are part of nature. When you create imbalance in one area, there's a price to pay in another area all the time.
Okay, so I must round up and thank you for coming. I hope I haven't, but before I round up, I want one last word from both of you. One last word. If nobody takes anything away from this, Patrick, what should they take away?
Wellness, the totality, nutrition, lifestyle, your environment, all impacts your health and well-being.
Sherese?
Be mindful. Stay in tune with your body, stay in tune with your plate, and maybe hang around those people who are also watching and being mindful themselves.
So you are what you eat and you're the friends that you keep.
Yes.
So, thank you you're my friend, so you've infected me. When I take a cola now, I know what one bottle can do to me. So I just say, oh, the guilt, oh, if Sherese should catch me, you know. But I mean, hey, life is for the living, like they say. But whatever it is, if you don't want to get old, creaky, right? Nobody knows when you're gonna die. So why don't you just live well and live right? Eat well. We've talked exercise here before, but today we're saying eat well. If you eat right and you add exercise to it, trust me, 65 will be young, right?
Yes.
65 will be young. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. And like they say, hang around those who are living the same kind of lifestyle that you want to live. We'll see you again next week.